welcome in everybody. Joe Powers here with you, getting ready for another episode of the GHSA All Access here on your GHSA All Access YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Thanks for everybody joining us here tonight. We appreciate you watching in. We're going to have the pleasure of joining Coach Ashley Henderson here with us in just a few minutes as he'll come back to camera for us, and we'll talk a little bit about what's coming up in the season of 2025 for Coach Henderson. It's going to be a lot of fun. We saw Coach in the Hurricanes in Dublin last year in the second round of the playoffs. I look forward to seeing what they've got coming back this year on the squad, and we'll see what they've got returning in class and power and also schedule and what they look forward to from all across the region. So without further ado, we'll go ahead and bring in head coach Ashley Henderson, the head coach for the Hurricanes there in Monticello. Coach, how's it going, my friend? How's everything going?
Hey, it's going good. You hear me good?
Yes, sir. Hear you just fine. Thank you so much for taking time out of your day. I know you guys are busy this time of year.
Yeah, it's a lazy Saturday at the Henderson household. We got the grandkids are out of town right now, so our kids are out of town. So seeing grandma and grandpa, so a little quiet around Saturday.
I hear you, man. Well, that's good stuff. Well, Coach, it won't be quiet for long as you got football season kicking off here shortly. GHSA is in their week of designated practices and mini camps and things like that going along. How have things been going for you in the preseason in the summer up there in Monticello?
You know, it's been like everybody's going to say, it's been a good summer. We've had to, we had some tragedy hit after July 4th week. We had one in the family passed away over July 4th week. And so we, so when we came back, we dealt with that and just monitoring our kids and basically just telling them we loved them and, grieved with them. And we went to his celebration of life Sunday, and Monday morning we hit the bus in week 2 in July and went to FCA padded camp. So the timing of that was really good for our kids to go off and just learn how to live together and how to do those things at a camp right there.
Yeah, and Coach, that is an awful situation for every account and in every account. But as you're getting ready to roll into a season and you have a returning member of your team like that to suffer a tragedy, without having to go into, and we won't spend a lot of time in the loss because it is a great loss, but let's just talk about how the team has reacted to that process and how the players are moving together. How is things as you take the next step as we have to? How's the team and how's everybody in the community rallying together around that?
You know, we're in a small community here, so the community is really rallied around the Kelly family. Young man's name was Jackson Kelly, but the community is really rallied around not only him but our football team as well. And the guys have really, you have some that was closest with that obviously are affected a lot more. We've got 83 kids out now, so it's a little larger team. So his class, and he was a rising 10th grader, so that bunch that was in the 9th grade, the developmental weight class we have our guys split in 2 classes, first and fourth, and so a bunch of those guys were really affected because the young man was one of those kids in a weight room that was, he'd bounce from group to group, encouraging kids, just a great kid. And, and his legacy is going to live on through us and through them.
Yes, sir. Well, Coach, you mentioned the number of kids that you have out on the squad this year in the summer coming into this football season. Tell me about that, the growth in the team, the program, and just what you're looking forward to here in 2025. Where are you in those growth numbers, heavy laden? Is it junior class, sophomore, freshmen, seniors? Where's the numbers the greatest for you right now?
Really juniors and below. We have 8 seniors that are, of those 8, every one of them, this is their fourth year of football. So that's awesome for us that they understand the standard, but below that is obviously 3 stacked big classes for us. But these juniors and seniors of everybody we're graduating from last year, we had another small senior class. So we returned a lot of production. We lose our top running back in Jalen Stewart, and maybe one of our most productive defensive linemen in Tymier Thornton. But, I think we replace a really good offensive lineman, running back I told you about in Tymier. And, from there, it's, guys we've had in the program that have been starting. So there's a lot of snaps that are returning for us this year. So it's very, very exciting.
Yeah.
It's exciting times, and the numbers are up. They're doubled from when we got here. And I think, you're at a school that my first year, that senior class, I might have been their third head coach. I was their third head coach. So that's tough. In that those kids look at it and think that, how long is this guy going to be here or whatever. And I assured them we were there for the long haul and wanted to build this thing and build it right. And I know everybody thinks it's coach speak, but we built it, and everything we do, we look into, all right, how are we going to lift today? How are we going to lift weights? And these kids, man, if you've ever driven through Monticello, you can about hold your breath through it. There's 2 red lights. These kids love to lift weights, and they've seen a lot of growth in that weight room, and has built some real excitement amongst them and amongst the kids in school. And they and now they're starting to want to come out and stick with it past middle school and keep going.
Yeah. Well, that's outstanding, Coach. I was just through your way. Well, let's see, this past Sunday, I was driving up to visit some family. I'm from North Georgia originally, up there in Toccoa. So I was heading up to Carnesville and passed up through your way. And I thought about you. I was like, I'll just stop by, pass by the stadium,
Did you hit the red light?
Yeah.
Well, no, you missed the red light if you came through the state by way of the stadium. So
that's
you
right.
saw it. You got to see it.
That's right. Well, Coach, you're talking about the growth, and looking forward to this season. It's going to be an exciting year. Last year, you guys had a pretty good take of it as well. 8-4 into the second round of the playoffs. Of course, we met with you in the playoffs last year in Dublin. This year, you got high numbers out. What are you expecting to see as far as your potential for the season and the playoffs? I flashed up on the screen a minute ago, and one of our banners, Coach, for those who may not be as familiar, you've got 11 playoff appearances in 13 previous seasons, 3 state championships, 5 region championships between Valwood School and Thomas County Central, and, of course, now here in Jasper County. So what are your thoughts moving as far as that clip and that record is concerned? How do you feel about going into 2025?
I think our kids have a belief now that they know when we line up, we have a chance. With last year, we hosted our first playoff game around here in 32 years when we took on Ace in the first round of the playoffs, and then got to go to the second round, which hadn't been done in over 30 years as well. And, we didn't have the firepower Dublin had, and Coach Holmes and crew, they do a tremendous job, man. He's one of the all-time greats. And, but it was you looked at it and now we want to set the bar even higher now. I mean, that was one of the goals last year, point blank. It was to host a playoff game. And we got to check that box, and we won that playoff game. And now we want to go further. We want to do more. We're making no bone. We'd like to compete for the region championship. Last year, when it came down with us and Lamar, and when we came up short there, that bumped us down, so we didn't finish second, and Social won it. So it's a very competitive region. In there, you got Lamar County, who's good year in and year out. Social Circle, who's, a very well coached team, and every game we play them in, whether it's JV or varsity, the last 3 years has come down to the very last possession. Of course, our rival Putnam, who we've not beaten them in quite some time. So, the top end of that, the 4 that made the playoffs last year, are really good programs and really well coached. And then you put that on top of McNair, which is kind of an unknown this year because of a new coach. Coach Drayton went to Northview, and then Towers is back, and they have as good athletes as anybody in the region. They may not have as many, but they have as good or better than any of them in the region, as you could see on our all-region team last year.
Yes, sir. Well, Coach, you talk about that schedule, so we'll go ahead and throw it up there for you about who we see in the region and what it is you guys may have to be taking on and, working against this year. You got Taylor County to start off the season there, Hancock Central, Wilcox County, Jackson, Towers, UAA, McNair, Social, Putnam, and then Lamar. So that schedule starts you off on the road. Then you got the 2 home games there. What do you think about the momentum early in the season and how your team may play right out of the gate, having to go on the road, then getting to get the 2 at home? How do you feel like that stacks in your favor?
You reading them backwards. We're home and then away twice.
There you go. You're right. I'm sorry.
Yeah, as I don't have my glasses on, but I have it memorized. But Taylor County and they beat us last year, so that's a big game for us. We want to get out the gate faster because last year we went down there and they thumped us 21-7 or 17-7, somewhere in there, and so that's a challenge. Them coming to us, and then we hit the road twice. One time hour about 9 minutes away, and the next week an hour 5 minutes away against Hancock and then Wilkinson, and both those teams came to our padded camp. We didn't pair up with them, but they were here, and so we got to eyeball each other a little bit, but of course they were on another field, so I didn't get to see both of them, and you don't have time in those things to sit and scout. So and a really big game there is the one you see in September 12th, Jackson. That's our neighboring county, Butts County right there, and that game we won that game last year on a field goal as time expired. So I know they'll be out for revenge this year, and they have really good players and are really well coached. I know a couple of those guys there, and that's going to be a ball game right there as well. And we get to host them. Interesting thing for us with this schedule is I don't know what the all-time gate record is, gate receipts, but we ought to have a pretty good gate, for the year with Taylor, Jackson, Social, and Lamar coming to town. Hopefully that one in the 10th game has a lot of meaning to it at the end of the season. And so it's an exciting home slate of football games for us. And we do hit the road a couple times in the preseason early, about an hour away, which will be about exactly what a little bit less than what McNair or Towers will be, depending on what stadium we'll be playing in DeKalb. Gotcha.
Well, Coach, that's quite a way to look at it there. And I'm sorry, I was looking at it backwards. I don't know. It's late in the day for me, but you get to start out at home and then on the road there twice for the hour run. But looks like a good schedule, a good season here lined up for you. Let's talk about some of the guys on the field that we may be paying attention to, calling the name of, and focusing on for the 2025 season. Who are some people you're looking at out of the gates coming in hot for you?
Yeah, we'll start offensively. That's the side of the ball I'm on right there. But we return, like I said, 3 starting offensive linemen, and Jordan Campbell kind of leads that. Jordan and Micah Garrett are both going to be 3-year starters for us. Micah actually started as a freshman, and he's just a junior. So those guys lead the way. Our starting center's back in Cody Wilkerson, who is a really good center. He's a good player for us as well. Quarterback's back, JT Thomas. JT does a lot of really good things for us, really good athlete, understands the run game reads, is getting a lot better throwing the football, has really worked at that. And, one thing that helps with that is we have a pretty good receiving core too. One guy to mention too, we have a young, a ninth grade quarterback coming up that we're really high on. The plan is right now to play both of them a little bit. Just be sure his name's Whaler Sands. Get him some experience. So we think he can help us win right now. They got a little bit different skill set, and Whaler's a little bit more of a pure passer, and JT may be a little bit more of an athlete there. So we think both of them are, but JT's a really good leader for us. We graduated our running back, like I told you last year, and the guy that's kind of stepped up into that role right now is a rising junior, Chance Ross. He's had, another tremendous – he was our number 2 last year, and with Jalen there, just didn't get a lot of opportunities. So a little bit of an unknown, and he's kind of finding his way through spring and our 2 OTAs. So we think he has a chance to be pretty special. He's a big, good-looking kid. He's 6'1", 220. If I looked like him, I wouldn't own a shirt. He can lift the weight room. He's just one of those kids. He's a very hard worker. So we think he has a tremendous upside. Out at wideout, again, returning starter in Nolan Dean. Nolan was our leading receiver last year, leading pass catcher. I think DeMonte, who graduated, he's going to GMC. He may have scored more touchdowns, but he started at corner for us. So we do something a little bit different from others. We try to start 22 different kids, and we think that helps with number one with practice, but number 2, it helps the development in these kids. Now we do have, like I said, we have guys that will play on both sides of the ball, but we try to really limit that as much as possible and develop more kids. I think that helps numbers. It helps create interest. It is paid off for us. My first game 3 years ago, Walnut Grove, the third quarter, we looked like a mass unit down on the sideline. We had 7 kids cramping, and year 2, we just said we need to go about this a different way. It worked for us. And I think it won us a couple ball games this past year. Late in the game, we were able to grind people out. Defensively, we're really high on our, and everything we do starts in our box right there with our top 2 D linemen, our back, and Breland Beasley, who is a defensive end for us, a junior. He is a really good football player, smart, coachable, plays with an edge. Tyree Owens is back at nose. The 2 guys in the middle both had over 100 tackles last year, and Cope Duran and Cam Farley. Cope's a junior, Cam's a senior. We have, our top outside backer is back in Tyron Epps, he's got a highest ceiling as anybody on our team as well. He is a very good football player. Secondary returns Kamarion Owens. We did graduate one of the corners. Another one that subbed in for us a lot. He was injured in our spring game last year, but he returns. He's starting in one of the corners, and that's Zach Smith. Smitty overcame a pretty bad injury last year and came back about halfway through the year. And
wow.
But he was starting up to that point, and so he's back at full speed right now. So we really like him. And also our other starting safeties back in MJ Maddox, and MJ's one of the guys we'll flip on both sides of the ball, along with Brian Ridley, who's also back, another multi-year starter for us. There's no excuses. I think our guys that we have coming back have a lot of experience, and that's why the expectations are probably higher than they've been around here in a lot of people's life and all these kids' lifetime. That's for certain. But it's just the standard we try to set with them every day in everything we do, that we want to do it first class, full speed. And we want to try to be the best, and so we also, year one, we didn't have a kicker. We rotated a few guys back there, and we're 4 deep at kicker now.
Nice.
Yeah. So and they're all getting better. But Angel Martin Garcia handles our kicking. He's worked himself into being a really good kicker. Parker Eaton does both kicks and punts. So, and then we got 2 young guys coming. So, excited about those guys too, and the work they put in. They've been there every day this summer as well. So, and that's kind of coming here and changing the culture a little bit. Just has to be where summer's not something we're doing for, for laughs or something. We got to get in football shape, man. If we expect to win, we got to get in football shape.
Sounds like you got some company joining you there.
Yeah, I got 2 golden doodles that are eyeballing me right now. Why I'm not talking to them instead of talking with you.
I hear you, Coach. Well, I'm not going to keep you much longer. I do just want to ask you a couple questions, though. It's always fun, as you go through the summer with the kids. You're talking about building a program there and rebuilding a culture. What does the other side of the ball look like? You guys, I'm sure, are incorporating some points of fun and team camaraderie and team building efforts. What's the funniest thing you guys have seen or done together so far this summer?
Man, I tell you, at FCA camp last week, and it was probably just a much needed moment for our kids. That FCA crew up in Aaron Mann and his crew up. We were in Demarest at Piedmont
College. That's where I went to school. Yeah.
Yeah, it was, but it was a really good experience. But they had these coaches competitions. And, of course, a lot of our coaches are, I guess they're shy. But we had 4 we found out are not. And, and they got up. They had a lip sync contest. And those 4 got up. And I guess it's Taylor Swift, "Party in the USA." Is that who sang it? I think it's her. I don't know. But I've heard the song. I just don't know who sings it. But
that was Miley Cyrus.
Cyrus.
Yeah, "Party in the USA."
Tomato. So, but no, I'm a closet Swiftie. But they got up and cut loose, and the kids just had a big time with it. I mean, all the kids did, and all the staffs there had representatives go up. But I think that was one of the things that, especially in light of what had happened the previous week and what we were dealing with, that they could go up and get away and take their mind off that for a little bit. And he's always in our mind, but go up and have fun and compete with football. And but that it's okay to laugh, because I know Jackson was looking down laughing at as well, because they did a great job. You have to, I don't know if we did post the video on our Instagram.
Okay, I was going to say I would love to see that video. If I find that, I may have to edit it in here for you, but I'd love to see that video.
Well, I got called out why I didn't do it, and I said, somebody's got to film. I mean, come on,
got to have a cameraman.
Come on. I mean, if you don't film it, it didn't happen.
I hear you, Coach. Well, Coach, thank you so much for taking time to join us here on GHSA All Access. I love talking to you. You see this awesome helmet sitting right here behind me. I appreciate that. Last year, providing that for us here for In Studio. Looks pretty good sitting back there. It really does.
Yeah, it does. That's a nice touch. I saw it when you got out. I meant to say something. That's what a guy who gave you that helmet, man.
I know. He's a real charmer.
Man, hey, but all kidding aside, man, this is really cool. And I kind of looked through some of those videos you've done, and appreciate what you're doing for not only high school football, but namely Middle Georgia football and all the programs, and even from the high single A's to all of them. But just thank you for what you do, man. You do an outstanding job. Enjoyed working with you back in Dublin. For that game, the game was rough, but it's all part of the growth, and
Right.
you know what you're dealing with when you go to Dublin, Georgia. But
Coach,
thank you for what you do, dude.
I really appreciate that. And, we're doing our best. I've got coaches lined up interviews every day. You'll continue to see coaches coming out. I think I've got Don Norton from Johnson County coming up. I got Jarrett Laws up there in Central Macon. He's on the agenda. I've got Chris County on the agenda. Right now, we've got Rabun County coming up. We've got them lined up all across the state. That's the point. We talk to everybody all around the state of Georgia and share what you guys are doing out there, because you're really doing the hard work. I just want to give you a platform to share it. And we appreciate what you guys do with the kids. Thanks for being here. We'll talk to you again, I'm sure. And I'll leave you with the last word, Coach. I always like to do that. Anything you want to share before we let you go?
With everything cranking up Monday, as far as acclimation, is hard to believe is already here. And yeah. I tell our seniors, and every year I tell all our guys, I just said, the days can feel long, but the weeks are short, and it's going to fly by. And there is nothing like Georgia high school football in the country, in the world. I don't care. It's the best.
I agree with you, my friend. There's something about it. And I tell you what, we're glad to be a part of it. Glad to have you here with us. Prayers continue to go to your program, your community, your school. I know you'll continue to walk through that with a team in a major promising way, because that's what happens with resolve and with good people who honor good people. So continue prayers for you guys. Thank you so much for joining us, Coach Henderson. And we'll talk to you again soon here on GHSA All Access.
All right, man. Thanks a lot.
Thanks.
The best in high school sports coverage in the state of Georgia is known by one name, the GSHA All Access. Tune in right here weekly to stay current with player profiles, coaches' conversations, and what's happening at GHSA sports. The GHSA All Access. Right here. Presented by Powers Media Network.